Welcome everybody to our Nomasis webinar. My name is Nadine and I'm pleased to introduce to you Yasin and Maximilian from Lookout, who will be presenting today. Today's webinar is about Lookout EDR. The session lasts about 60 minutes. Please notice that during the presentation, your microphones will all be set to mute. You may post questions during the session through the chat function to the host. The questions will then be answered by Lookout at the end of the session. Now I'd like to hand over to Yasin and Maximilian. Please start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Nadine. Just to introduce myself, my name is Yasin. I'm a channel account manager for Lookout. More than now 20 years, well, actually in the security, 10 years in the mobile security space, responsible for the partners in the region, Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, but I'm also responsible for end customers with a size of less than 1,000 seats. So today we want to talk about Lookout and about our new setup. We have a couple of months officially announced the new EDR solution that we have now in place. And I have also my colleague here. He's responsible for the technical piece. He will introduce himself. Max, just some words about you.
Yeah, thanks, Yasin. My name is Max Stückert. I joined Lookout in 2018, so roughly 2.5 years now. I'm also responsible for the DACH region as a sales engineer. So yeah, for every technical topic around our solution, technical questions like things like product, live demos, walkthrough of the console, use cases, etc. And yeah, back to you, Yasin. Thanks.
Thank you very much. So Lookout, basically, how we are built, what we are doing. Well, we can say we are 100% focused on iOS, Android security. And our main functionality is super simple. So we have a Lookout security graph to what is our security cloud, powered by our AI. And we have a couple of various software models in a very nice overview where you can exactly choose various scenarios, various modules that fits perfectly into your environment. And what we also need is, of course, an application what runs on the device. And I had just some months ago a very nice feedback from a customer who told us that the nice thing on our application is that nobody feels it. Nobody can really. It's super light and it's super easy on the phone, so the battery consumption is close to zero, what is a very, very nice compliment for us. So Lookout, about us, some words. We are founded in 2008, so we have approximately 400 employees. Here in Europe, we have approximately 50. In our DACH team, we have 2 account managers, one responsible for the north part of Germany, and the other guy is responsible for the south and Switzerland and Austria. Myself, who's running the channel business, and our 2 SEs. In terms of Lookout as a company, I can say what the real power and the real benefits is of our solution, that we have now all over the globe around about 200 million devices, what is massive. Just a small view on the competition here. If we take all the competitors together, then they are in a, let's say, 1-digit million area. So there you can get a feeling around that, what massive and how incredible big our data set is. We don't have just the 200 million devices on the globe. We have also 120 million of applications around the globe analyzed. Daily, we receive 100,000 applications where we have a very, very close view into that. And for us, it's not important if the application is from the official App Store, from the iOS App Store, or from the Android App Store. We have the our analytics not just into the stores, we are also outside, and we can exactly know if an application does exactly that what she should do or not. And that, of course, in terms of privacy, all confirmed and all GDPR ready. Some words about the platform. As I just mentioned, we have various of modules where our customers can basically choose what their needs are. So if we start with the modern endpoint protection, that's the basic product. We called it also mobile threat defense. Then there is an additional layer with phishing and content protection, what means that we can detect 360 degrees of phishing, not just email phishing, but also social media, email, SMS, and every kind of targets in terms of phishing. And the next module is mobile risk and compliance, what is basically our app security feature. As shown before, our big data set of applications give us the opportunity to see exactly what our application is doing in the background or not. So we have a lot of customers who wants to have an exactly deep view into that. Then our new model, mobile EDR, where we combine our intelligence. That means we have now the possibility to see exactly if there is a target, what is exactly related to you, to your company. And it doesn't matter if that is a malicious link or a phishing or whatever. So we know that because of our data set and of our, let's say, AI in the background, if that is an exact target on your company, or if that is something what is just employee who is who has received an SMS and clicked on a phishing link. So and based on that threats, we have built some, let's say, responses where your admin can exactly define how he can react, or how the MDM or the security setup in the background can react on this target. We have here exclusively a demo video where we can show that. Max has prepared that, and then you can exactly see what we are doing here and how the setup is in the background. And the last piece is our app defense. What is that exactly? So app defense is our SDK. Companies can build that into a B2B2C application, like a banking application. So that means if somebody used the banking app, then we are doing a kind of pre-check of the device. And if the device is healthy, then we can, based on that, allow the end user to do some kind of transactions. If the device is jailbroken, for example, then we can just give the user the possibility to see the application, or to have a view on the application, but to not do any kind of transactions. We are working on iOS and Android. The latest update that we have made is also for Google Chromebooks. So that means we can save that as well. We have a very deep collaboration with Google as well. If you need their additional information or more information, then we can do that in a separate call. Today, we want to talk more about our product, or about mobile EDR and the integration into Microsoft and Microsoft Intune. Good. So then let's have a view on the mobile ecosystem and on that what happened in the past. So when I've started in the mobile security, that was 12 years ago, we had just the first step. It was really basic. So the customers have just looked for an alternative for the BlackBerry UAM server, and let's say the view on security was really basic. That changed then a couple of years later. So the companies have already integrated the MDM solution, and they thought about bring your own device scenario. We have still some customers who are in that transition phase. But that is something that happened in the last, let's say, 5 years. And now we are in the phase 3 and 4, where we have additional security layer, an MDM solution. We have an MTD solution on top of that. We have integration into various UAM, MDM, and SIEM systems. We have phishing and content protection. And content protection is super important for customers who don't allow the employees to get on, let's say, company blocked sites. And that is that for the future. What we have already announced, our new mobile EDR, where we have real-time analytics, where we can give you full access to our forensics, and you can exactly analyze the behavior of the targets and the, let's say, bad guys. How that is look like a bit deeper. So modern endpoint protection is basically the mobile threat defense piece. So where we where we have a deeper view into the device, we can detect man-in-the-middle attack in the network, and we have various integration into MDMs. The next block is our phishing and content protection. As just mentioned, we are protecting the whole device. Not just emails and not just SMS, also every kind of, let's say, open doors phishing related. A new feature, what is also a part of our platform, is the vulnerability management and the patch management. I think this part is super important for Android user, because here you have different Android OS versions, and as a company you need to make sure that you are always on the latest version and that you patch the security level. So this is something what is super difficult, and you can't manage that via a classical MDM, and our data set allows us exactly to give the admin here the opportunity to have a very nice view on the OS versions, and give the user the guidance then to upgrade on the latest version. We have the same also from the application base. So if you see here if you take here as an example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp had some security issues in the past with various versions, and we have visibility into that, and we can then show exactly the user, hey, you have an old version of the application, please make sure that you upgrade to the latest and securest version. Then the piece app security, as just mentioned, with our data set, we have a very deep view into applications, so we can exactly tell you what in the background is happening. If we have the time, we can have a closer look into our console and show you what kind of data we have there. And then our latest feature is our mobile endpoint detection and response tool, where we exactly can investigate and detect incidents and respond then in real time when we see something what is not allowed from the company. So, well, that's it. I have here a couple of use cases where we can talk about. I think this is something what we should take for the one-to-one session, because we can have then here a individual view on your environment, and you can then exactly go into your own environment that you have and give you a deeper view on that what your situation is. That's it from my side. I will give over to you, Max.
Yeah, so I quickly want to give you a walkthrough of our brand new mobile EDR feature. So, or product, let's say. The product itself isn't built yet or isn't ready yet, but we built some kind of a preview to give you some first insights about how the product might look like in the future. And in this case, for those of you who don't know the Lookout console yet, this is a screenshot, or let's say a part of the Lookout console. In this case, we are here in the issue section, and we are looking at a threat that has been detected on a device. And in the console, we can now see the details of the threat that has been detected. In this case, so this is part of the product, of the Lookout product already today. So we see that it's an application that has been detected as a side-loaded app, which means the app has been downloaded not from the official Google Play Store, but it has been downloaded from a third-party app store. So it means that the app downloaded by this store hasn't been approved or validated by Google. So it is a big entry for malware on Android and also on iOS devices. So this is part of the product already today. But what we are able to offer with the mobile EDR piece is a deeper analysis and also research and investigation capabilities. So we can already see that the app itself downloads additional code, which could be harmful because the app itself is not harmful, but after the app has been installed, it will then download silently code which can be harmful or which can be malicious. And with our new mobile ADR feature, we can now dig into this. If we click on the area downloads additional code, we will be redirected into the new Lookout mobile EDR console, which looks like this. So in this Lookout EDR console, we will get more information about the threat that has been detected previously, about the side-loaded app that has been installed on the device. So we can, for example, get more information if we click on the point here, downloads additional code, and then I get more details about the code that has been downloaded afterwards. Then I can see, okay, apparently the app is downloading 2 other additional apps on the device without the knowledge of the user. So it all happens in the background. The user does not get anything or information or notification about the 2 new apps that have been downloaded, and then I can dig into the apps here deeper. If I click on one of the child apps here, if I click on one of the apps, I see that there is a filter here in the URL in the search bar, which means parent. So it means show me all apps that have the parent app with this ID in common. And then I can see, okay, these 2 apps here are related to the parent app, and those 2 apps have been flagged as malware or surveillanceware already. So those 2 apps are malicious. And then I can dig in further and get more details of those apps. And if I click on one of the 2 additional apps, I can get more details. I can see, okay, it's an Android app. The popularity is very low. I can see the app version. I can see when the app has been discovered by Lookout. And here at the bottom, I can also see that the app has access to several sensors or to several data on the device, which means the app is able to access data. It can access SMS, media, records, and so on. And the most interesting part is if I click on here on the relationship button, then I can see everything what Lookout knows about this app and everything where the app is related to. So I can see that the app, for example, is communicating to 7 hosts. I can also see that the app is communicating to or with 10 IP addresses. That the app has 1 sibling. So this is the other app that has been downloaded in parallel, and the app has 1 parent. So this is the initial app that has been downloaded on and installed on the device. Then I can get further details. If I click, for example, on the 7 hosts, I can see every domain and host name where the app is communicating to. I can see something like DNS, like Amazon, like Google, and I can see something like Finance Corp EMP updates.biz, which is a bit suspicious, I would say. And then I can click on this URL, and then I get a list of resources that where this URL is related to. So it means show me every resource or every data set in Lookout's global database that is somehow connected to this URL here, Finance Corp EMP updates. And I can see, okay, this URL is used by an app like Com Android and so on. And also this URL has been flagged as phishing already. So I can search across our global Lookout data set and can see, and can get every resource where this URL is related or referenced to. So that's really powerful. So I can do my own research and search for URLs or any other malicious apps that have been detected or that seem suspicious, so to say. And then I can get more details and more and dig in deeper. For example, okay, I can see this URL here has been flagged as phishing, and if I click on this app on this URL here, I get further details like the IP address that's behind the domain name, when this URL has been discovered, and I can also see a screenshot of how the website that's behind the IP and the domain address looks like. So that's really the screen on the mobile device and how it looks. So really suspicious and looks really like a traditional login page on the employee portal from this Finance Corp company here. So that's really powerful. We initially started by a side-loaded app, and then at the end we got some further malicious sources like a phishing URL. So that's really powerful, and that's how customers can use our global data set to do their own research and to do their own investigation, and then at the end customize their protection policies to, let's say, be better prepared if there are any further attacks targeting the company. So that's really powerful, and that's the first part of my presentation. I will now share another presentation. Second part is I want to quickly give you a walkthrough and a summary and an overview about the partnership of Lookout and Microsoft. So as you may have heard, we are closely working together with Microsoft, and we have a deep integration from a technical perspective inside the Microsoft product portfolio, I would say. So basically, we are able to support 4 different use cases and 4 different products together with Microsoft. So the first one is obviously the integration between the Lookout backend and the Microsoft Azure Active Directory. What it means is we can basically integrate the Lookout console with the Microsoft Azure Active Directory to support single sign-on capabilities. So as soon as you integrate both systems, you are able to log into the Lookout console just automatically using single sign-on. So that's the first integration capability. The second one is the integration with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. That's obviously Microsoft Intune. So in this case, we can integrate the Lookout console with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And the integration and the benefit of this integration is once the Lookout client on the device detects a threat, let's say a malicious app, the client on the device will reach out to the Lookout console, and the Lookout console then will communicate with the Microsoft Endpoint Manager or Microsoft Intune to inform Intune or the Endpoint Manager that a threat has been detected on the device. And then Microsoft Endpoint Manager can apply a compliance policy, for example, block access to company resources or block Exchange Online, block SharePoint Online, whatever you want once a threat has been detected on the device. So the employee will not be able to access corporate data as long as the threat is present on the device, because you can block the access with Microsoft Endpoint Manager. And then once the employee is able to resolve or remediate the threat on the device, let's say uninstall the malicious app, it will go the other. It will work the other way around. So in this case, Intune will then allow the access to corporate resources again. The next use case is the integration with Microsoft Defender ATP. So all the threats and all the events that are part from the Lookout console can be transferred or can be delivered into Microsoft Defender ATP. The benefit here is if you're using Microsoft Defender ATP, you will get all the feeds and all the information from Lookout delivered into Microsoft Defender ATP, and Microsoft Defender ATP will get also the feeds and all the events from your desktop fleet. So in this case, you would have one single pane of glass and one place where all your threats and events and whatever it is will be consolidated in one place. So you can basically get an overview about the mobile fleet as well as the desktop fleet just by using one console from the Microsoft Defender ATP. And the last use case is obviously our integration with Microsoft Intune MAM. So Microsoft is calling that Microsoft Office 365 for BYOD in this case, because Intune MAM means the device is not fully managed by Intune or by Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Instead of fully managing the device is only partly managed. So only specific applications on the device are managed if you are using Intune MAM. And we as Lookout are also able to integrate with Intune MAM, which you will see in a couple of slides. So here you can see the overall architecture, what it means and how we integrate with Microsoft. We are calling that Lookout Continuous Conditional Access, because the devices here are enrolled in Lookout as well as in Azure Active Directory, so to say. And once Lookout detects something on the device, it will then inform Azure Active Directory that a threat has been detected, and Azure Active Directory can then block access for this specific user or this specific identity, and then the other way around, and allow access after the threat has been remediated, as I already mentioned previously. So that's the overall workflow, and that's the overall architecture, how our integration works with Microsoft. On a BYOD perspective, or from a BYOD perspective, this is our integration with Intune MAM. So in this case, let's say the employee downloads the Microsoft Outlook app on his personal device, and then you need to make sure that his personal device is not compromised or is free from any threats or something. And in this case, through our integration with Intune MAM and with Microsoft, we can make sure that the employee needs to download and install Lookout before he's able to access company data, which means the employee will download the Outlook app, for example, and once he activates his Outlook app, which means putting in his credentials, the Outlook app will check if Lookout is already installed, If not, the user will be redirected to the App Store, and then he will need to download the Lookout app. And secondly, if Lookout says that the device is not compromised. Once both conditions are met, then the employee will finally get access to his Outlook inbox. And not only for new installation or for newly enrolled devices, it also works if the device has Outlook already installed. And if then a threat will be detected, the access will be blocked. Once the threat will be remediated, the access will be allowed again. So that's always the same procedure, regardless of the management type. We are supporting managed devices and also unmanaged devices that you can see here that are using Intune MEM capabilities. And lastly, a screenshot of the Lookout Microsoft Defender ATP integration. So you can see on the dashboard view here on the left side through the integration with Lookout that the Microsoft Defender ATP also shows every threat that has been detected. For example, malware detected or suspicious activity or phishing links. We can see the detection date. We can see what user is behind that, and also the severity, because we basically decide between three different risk categories: low, medium, high, depending on the threat that has been detected on the device. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. One console for every device in your company. And that's it basically. So yeah, I hope it was interesting. If not, or if there are anything, if there is anything that is unclear, don't hesitate to contact us. And thanks for joining on this point in time here. And with that, yeah, back to you, Yasin, and back to you, Nadine. Thank you.